I am here. Tomorrow is surgery day. So, look at this guy. So a few weeks ago, I had a seizure out of the blue. Didn't know I was going to have it. No reason to have it. And we basically spent the night in A&E. I spent the last 3 or 4 weeks, I think it's longer than that, 5 weeks, confused. I had another seizure. The second seizure was horrible. I was awake and I remember it. Remember panicking to breathe, but other than that, I don't remember much. I've been really sleepy on and off for the last few weeks. Sometimes I just lose track mid-sentence, so might do that now. Hair had to go. I used to have longish hair, wasn't that long, sort of that long. This is a very unfortunate mole. But yeah, it's all been a bit of a shock, really. Just to add to the equation, my wife is 28 weeks pregnant, I think now. So obviously I can't drive or do any of the things that you would normally do for a pregnant wife now, and fingers crossed I come out the other side of tomorrow able to, walk, talk and potentially hold a baby. Otherwise I'll be watching from afar. The plan tomorrow, as I know it, is go in, so they'll cut a hole somewhere. I don't actually know where, top, bottom, side, maybe, I don't know. This is just a headphone, this isn't anything special. Yeah, go in through the side, cut out as much as they can, and send it off to be tested. What we've been told so far, based on the MRIs and stuff that I've had, is they think it's an oligodendroglioma, grade 2. They don't think it's spreading, but they won't know that for certain until they test it. So at the moment, it's all just a bit up in the air. So yeah, tomorrow is the day. It is currently about 9 o'clock, or was it 10 past 9? The night before I go in, I was debating making videos like this throughout the last 5 weeks or so while we've been waiting for this, but as I said, the tiredness comes on and off very quickly, so I sort of made the decision today. No, it's better to get a before and then a proper after, rather than going back after and trying to explain, assuming I can't explain. Hopefully this will do the job. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. No, I don't think so. So, missed loads. Key things to know. One of the key things to know, my job for the last while has been sales. So I drive around and I talk to people. So as you can imagine, this has been a bit of a nightmare, job security wise, panicking that I'm not going to be able to work possibly or ever again in that capacity. Let's see if I can stand that up. My employer has been nothing but brilliant, so there's no worries there. What else? See, this is the forgetting stuff. I watched back the first part and thought, oh well, I've missed loads there, and thought, oh well, I'll start with work, and now that I'm recording, I can't remember what I was going to say. So yeah, I used to be fairly sharp, reasonably clever. I've got a degree. Not that it matters at all for what I do nowadays, but physics degree. So I'm definitely not an idiot. I wouldn't count myself as particularly clever. But yeah, all of the memory loss and forgetfulness has been a bit of a shock. Kind of want to say wake up call. It's not really a wake up call, but it's just a bit of a shock to the system. Obviously, lots of people have been trying to phone and message and say, share their support and things, and for a lot of them, I just can't have the conversation. Not because I can't talk about it for getting upset, just because I can't talk about it because I'd lose track. So for all of anyone who watches this, who knows me personally, you'll know who you are. Been trying to phone and not getting through and stuff. That's why. What else? So yeah, there's lots of information out there. So when I first found out about all this, I went straight home, curious mind, desperately tried not to just blind Google this sort of thing, because that's just a recipe for disaster. But I did try to find out as much as I could. The brain tumour charity website I found to be the best place to get reliable information that I could trust, without any of the horror stories or horrible people on the internet. But the information is wild. Every brain tumour is different. So I'd read some stories of surgeries lasting 18 hours, and they have to test all sorts. So oh, here we go. That's something I've forgotten to say up till now. So the surgery that I'm having is an awake craniotomy. So I'll be awake, obviously. So they cut into my head. I think I get a bit of local. There'll be some drilling and sorting and whatnot to get in at my brain. From what I've been told so far, they're only currently worried about my motor function, which is a bit devastating for me. I don't look it, but I go to the gym a lot. I do CrossFit, and I really enjoy lifting weights, Olympic weightlifting, and chucking sandbags about, that sort of stuff. So the thought of not being able to do that is a bit scary. I really hope I can. I've lost my train of thought now. Oh, so the physiotherapist will be in there testing various things as they go. So obviously my head will be in some sort of clamp. They've kind of described it. I imagine it looks a little bit like that, actually. This guy, let's give him a name, Dave. With these sort of screws that go in. I imagine it's something a little bit like that. But they haven't shown me what it actually looks like. As they go along, they'll stimulate parts of the brain, and as they stimulate it, the physiotherapist will be testing things to hopefully avoid leaving me with any impairment, but nothing's guaranteed, obviously. There are other people, as I've read stories of much longer surgeries, of people who have to have speech therapists, who have to have other people in there. I think she said psychologists. It depends what part of your brain it's going to affect, I guess. But yeah, I think that. So yeah, this is a mess, but I'm deliberately going to leave it a mess because I think that's kind of part of it. I think that's everything. yeah, hopefully all will be well, and I will be, I don't know how much brain weighs. Several grams of brain lighter. Hopefully not a blithering idiot. Hopefully still able to talk and walk and move and eat and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Fingers crossed, eh? Forgot some more. So I started watching that one back and realised about the driving thing. So other things that I think is probably fairly common for anyone else that this happens to is, you know, worrying about finances and, you know, where's money going to come from, you know, is work going to be okay with it? So I kind of did mention work. So I'd literally just moved jobs. I'm really lucky, you know, they took me on, and then within 4 weeks I have a seizure of a brain tumour I didn't know about, and then they basically just said, go away and get better. Still going to pay me. So yeah, not going to name them just yet, but you know, fingers crossed I will be able to get back to work. I'd like to get back to work, but you know, depends what I look like. Definitely not going to be able to drive around, which is tricky, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. On the driving around, the reason I'm doing the third attempt at this, money-wise, the biggest grievance we've had has been with the car. So because it was a new job, I had to get a new car. The previous company I worked for, it was a company car. So that went back. I just bought a new car. I hadn't had it for very long. It must have been 4 or 5 weeks, I'd say. I'd not been in the job very long. I just on a month-ish. But it was just long enough that we were outside of the 28-day, you know, whatever it's called, where you can just say, no, don't want it, have it back. Both the finance company, the dealer that I bought the car from, and both of their respective solicitors have been totally useless. They have no sympathy, you know, guy with brain tumour, with pregnant wife, towards the end of pregnancy, car that is not usable by her, so she basically can't use it, it's too low down for her, she needs a higher up car. It was perfect for what I was going to need, you know, it's churning up motorway miles, it was a huge boot, space for a pram, space for a dog. It's now a useless piece of machinery sat on the drive, gathering dust, which nobody wants to take. The most ridiculous thing about all of it is that, you know, if somebody were to nick the car, or if it was to be damaged in some way that was, you know, insurable, I don't know what the right word for that is. I've got all the correct insurances and you know, gap insurance, proper insurance, all that sort of stuff to make sure that we would just come out neutral. We wouldn't owe any money. But because I want to give the car back and allow somebody else to get good use out of it, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly good car. That's why I bought it. But no, yeah, they're just making life really difficult. We did use a finance broker to get the car. They've been a little bit helpful, only in the sense that they're trying their best to help us. But word to the wise, if anyone works for anyone's customer care department or anything, when somebody tells you they've got a brain tumour and they really struggle to talk, please go and talk to my wife. Don't then start quizzing me about my date of birth and my, you know, dog's previous owner's maiden name, because I don't know and I won't know. And then when you phone up again the following week wanting to double check something with me, I'm not available, I'm basically out. But none of them seem to understand that. They all need to speak to me and me only. So we've had to go through all sorts of faff of signing and filling in forms, which again is not something I'm great at right now, to make sure that my wife's got access to everything should we be ever able to get rid of that car. But it's yeah, it's been a bit of a shit one, that. Have we had anything else? I'm sure I'll remember something else after this one as well. If not, 9:30. I've got to get a good night's sleep. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. Fingers crossed. So another couple of things I remembered. I had to go and get changed because it's very warm. Hospitals, man. I think the thing that's been most upsetting, I suppose, or disturbing or annoying, or I don't know what you want to say, is I seem to have this weird aversion to supermarkets. As soon as we go into a supermarket, I go into like sloth mode. I've spent the last 5 weeks completely supervised, can't be on my own in case I have a seizure, which was just as well because I did have another one. And it's it's crap basically. But the experience of the supermarket's really odd. I'll be absolutely fine, and then we walk in, and then just sort of seeing all the choices and all the different options, it's sort of just like overwhelming. And that's something so basic that I never thought would ever be an issue. And now I basically can't go in a shop without my brain sort of shutting down. It's really odd. Also, if people ask me lots of questions, so kind of what we're saying in the last one about the awful business we've had with the car, if I get lots of quick fire questions, one back to back to back, I just can't deal. Got to a point where some people are asking me for my date of birth, and I'm turning around and looking to my wife like, help, which is rubbish. But I can remember. I just need it to be slow. It's very odd. Hopefully that'll all improve. Yeah, very odd.